I was a fan of the Game of Thrones show, and I got the audio book, and I've been re-listening to that, and it's really good. And the show really stuck to what the book was. And I did some research to find out like when that fell off in the show series, because he's supposedly had promised to do 7 books, and he's got 5 out, which is pretty good if you ask me. But the last one came out in 2011, so he's been working on that the 6th book for a long ass time. Taking forever to finish it, but I don't know. He got successful, and now having trouble finding time to finish it. Because the first one came out in 1996, and it's really good. So I've been listening to the audiobook, which is narrated by this guy named Roy Dotrice. I think I'm pronouncing that. But the audiobook genre in itself is a whole different thing than like film or reading the book itself. This guy is talented in the way he reads the book. He does voices for characters. And one of the things I noticed about him in particular, this guy, the way he says no. Different characters say no for different reasons. He puts so much different emphasis on the meaning behind the no. When you hear no, the way he says it in different manners of the different characters that say it. And this is like a huge epic type of book with so many different multiple storylines going on, and they're kind of connected, but they're separate. So the show does a good job, and the show that like helps me visualize it. After season 4 starts to fall off of the original content. So I thought about, if I'm going to watch the show again, I'm just going to stop watching it after season 4. From what I heard and I researched, they kind of started season 5 was not based on the books as much, and it was based more on the notes of George Martin. So it was kind of like halfway, I don't know, about what the books may or may not show. And then they took some liberties, they changed some things, like Lady Stark had a whole thing where she became a ghost. I'm going to listen to all 5 books of the audiobooks, because he is a good writer, and you could tell why did the Game of Thrones series fall off so hard is because they ran out of source material, and they started to try to make up their own story after. And nobody's talented enough, and especially the vision that was created by the writer, no one could finish that properly. It's weird to me that they would find success in doing a show that's closely based on the source material of the books, and then slowly but surely stop doing that and start trying to do their own thing. Like, I guess I'll find out as I go in further into the book series how much they changed it for the show. But it seems to be always the case with these things. And I've heard about the newer series and George Martin's issues with how they are going off the rails of doing their own stuff and not following the source material, even though it exists now. I don't know. It's upsetting to me. I think for creativity, You have to have a good collaboration with the people. And I don't know, he obviously he's getting paid, and he took his paycheck from the Game of Thrones series. But I don't know how much is that going to hurt his if he ever comes out with that sixth book. Now that the show has been a failure, it became a success and then a huge letdown as the series wrapped up, and it was so crappy, and you're like, this whole thing, what? And then I want to read the book. I want to read the sixth book, whatever it is called. But will it be better than? It has to be better than the show. It has to be better than what the show tried to do. Like they brought Jon Snow back to life. Will that happen? I think just based on the first season and the first book, people like Ned Stark because the guy that played him in the show was a really good actor, and people liked him. He was the guy from Lord of the Rings, but in the audiobook that I read, or not read, I listened to, there is a difference, I suppose, in reading and listening. He was too honorable, too sticking to what is right, up to a point. There's certain things that he kept to himself. Like the fact that he should have been 100%. I think the problem with him is that he was not 100% honorable to the truth. He had some things that he kept hidden to himself, like the true identity of the mother of Jon Snow, and also how he didn't reveal to everybody that Joffrey was the incestuous child of Xerxes and Jaime, and not the true heir to the throne. Why would he keep that to himself, or not, say it to the right people, to everybody, especially at that last moment when he thought that if he confessed to being a traitor, that he would get to go to the wall and take the black, or whatever it was. Why didn't he just spill the beans right there? Like, you're not the real. He was too much of a stickler, and he didn't realize. He was trying to protect certain things and not others. I don't know. Either you come out with the whole truth, or you protect. If you're not going to come out with the entire truth of what's happening, whether you're wrong about it or not, the truth as you know it. Put it out there. Let everybody know what it is, what the truth is, and not try to protect certain people, and not protect yourself. I think he was not good at this Game of Thrones, right? You want to think he was honorable, but he wasn't. He wasn't. He was kind of dumb, I think, in my assessment of how he played it out. Naive, dumb. So I guess in the audiobook, his death did not come as big of a surprise as it did in the show, because in the show he was like one of the more awesome characters, and people like that guy. But I guess it kind of set the tone for what Game of Thrones is about, and it's not about the idealistic, honorable person who will tell the truth, but hold certain truths to himself to protect the integrity of the certain people. but not himself. I don't know. I think he made bad choices. Obviously. But anyway, I'm enjoying the audiobooks more than reading, if I'm being honest. And it's really has to do with the person who's reading, who's telling the story. And the guy that does the Game of Thrones is really good. But overall, I was a big fan of the Game of Thrones series up till I think I got real mad at when the septum, like the religious people, try to take over the King's Landing and tell everybody what to do. Like they were beholden to the religious people to do what they say. For some reason, like as if the whole population of Westeros was very religious. I don't believe that. It didn't have that feeling to me that everybody was religious and beholden to their values of beliefs in their gods or what have you, to have that much power and sway over the queen to do all this stuff. That made me like, what? That's ridiculous.